chứng ngọc tiến hành lấy mẫu lần 2 đối với gói thứ hai bằng máy cắt mang.
Thank you very much, fellow Kenyans. I want to take this opportunity to ask and to request the President of the Republic of Kenya, William Samoei Ruto, to assist this lady called Nduta, who is supposed to be hanged tomorrow in Vietnam. This lady did no crime. This is a lady who was at the wrong place in the wrong time. This is a lady who was misused, used, and abused. This is a lady who was used to transport drugs. We should not lose a Kenyan, Mr. President. You need to act with speed. You need to help Nduta. Nduta should not be hanged tomorrow. And I know that you can take your phone, you can call the Vietnam government, and we need not to lose this lady. We as Kenyans, we need to unite behind this lady because she's one of our own. Even if it is exchanging one of the cabinet secretaries who is corrupt in this government with this lady, let us do so. Whatever it will take us to do, let us do so that we can save the life of Nduta. Thank you. God bless you.
Bunge, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to BAV. This is Bunge Audio Visual, the place where we get to give you updates not only in Kenya, but across the globe as well. So, today we're going to dive into a gripping and heartbreaking and chilling real-life story. One that has sent shockwaves across Kenya and beyond. A story of desperation, deception, and a cold hand of justice. So this is the story of Nduta, that is Margaret Nduta, a young Kenyan woman who now stares at the grim reality of execution in Vietnam for drug trafficking. So the question is, how did she get there, and whom are we dealing with? Do you have any other bigger figures that are actually behind all this plot, or rather all this kind of menace that she's experiencing at the moment? And we also need to ask ourselves, who failed Margaret Nduta in this particular case? And is there any hope left for Margaret Nduta to actually escape the jaws of this kind of the sword of this grim reaper? So let us talk about the first place where Nduta's we're going to discuss about Nduta's descent into drug trafficking. And just like many young Kenyans, Nduta had dreams of a better life and financial stability and a way out of the matrix, or rather economic hardship. But dreams can turn into nightmares when desperation meets the wrong opportunity. And it started with the promise, fast money, and an all expense paid trip, and a simple task. Which was simply transporting a package. And little did she know that this journey will be a one-way ticket to death sentence. So Vietnam, as you all know, a country known for its picturesque landscapes, of rich history, and unforgiving justice system. In her suitcase, hidden within its lining, authorities were able to find what is expected to be narcotics. And the weight of the evidence that was heavy enough to seal her fate, because at first she started by getting from Kenya, she went to Ethiopia. Then from Ethiopia she went to the Gulf, that is Dubai. Then from Dubai she was able to go through all the pit stops, or rather the checkpoints in the various airports in the countries that she was able to do stopovers, or rather layovers. And as soon as she arrived at Vietnam's international airport, that is Hanoi's Noi International Airport, we are able to see that on that fateful day, security officers were able to intercept her. And the scans revealed that the concealed substances, and were able to reveal the concealed substances, and within moments the walls closed in. So handcuffed, surrounded, our protests are drowned in the reality that the Vietnam does not play with, does not really play when it comes to drug laws. And as you all know, at the moment, a majority of the countries in Asia, about 34 of them, have got very, very strict laws when it comes to matters concerning the drug trafficking, crime. and you all know the penalty is just execution. And as you're talking, Margaret Nduta has been sentenced to death, and she's going to serve a sentence via lethal injection today at 7 p.m. Local time here in Kenya. She's also expected to have her last meal at around 6 p.m. That is Kenyan time. And at that particular moment, she was sentenced. The Vietnamese government, or rather the Vietnamese authorities, or rather the Vietnamese legal system, say that there were no chances and that they won't be lenient to anybody who performs such an act. So let's talk about the emotional, the emotional part of this particular sentence, because Nduta, at first, after she was caught with these 2 kilograms of cocaine, she claimed that she was innocent and that she was deceived, and that she was unaware of what she was carrying. And a familiar plea, but a plea that rarely sways the iron-fisted Vietnamese judiciary, because in a country where over 80 people have faced execution for such kind of drug-related offenses in the recent years, I think history offered so little hope to anybody who would find themselves in such kind of mess, or rather in such kind of situation. Then let's talk about the Vietnamese unforgiving drug laws in depth, because Vietnam has one of the one of the strictest drug trafficking laws in the world. And the moment you are found over with 600 grams of heroin or more than 2.5 kilograms of methamphetamine, you are as good as dead, because many before her, Nigerians, Malaysians, Filipinos have walked the same path, and their stories all ended the same way. So no matter how much their home governments tried to plead on their behalf or rather try and intercede, we were able to see that the Vietnamese government rarely bended to such kind of requests, or rather diplomatic appeals. So, and talking about Kenya's last minute pleas, we've seen there are quite a number of figures that have actually tried to file to send their petitions to ensure that they give Margaret Nduta an extension of the execution she's about to face. And as the execution clock ticks down, we've seen the Kenya government scramble. The principal secretary for foreign affairs has stepped in, pleading with Vietnam to delay the execution, and they have asked for diplomatic understanding, for more time, for more reconsideration, so that they can be able to do thorough investigation and see whether Nduta did this willingly, or she did this because maybe somebody took advantage of her. But the question still remains, will the Vietnamese government listen? Or is this just a desperate attempt to delay the inevitable? You know, and we've also seen figures like Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Owino has also raised the voice in the video that you watched, directly calling out on President Ruto to step in, and he has demanded action, questioning Kenyans' silence when one of their own faces the ultimate punishment, which she might have not deliberately attempted, or she might have not deliberately involved herself into. And he was asking, where is the president when Kenyans need him the most? And he also asked a question that really left so many people wondering if at all they have got a leader who actually puts the country, or rather the people of the interest of the people of the country first. Because most of the people right now are thinking about Nduta's homecoming, so that they can be able to do further investigation, and if possible, if she's found in the wrong, she might be convicted here in Kenya, but she shouldn't be executed on foreign soil, because it is going to be so difficult for her to actually come back home. And also a question that echoes in the hearts of many Kenyans following this case is the Vietnamese government going to give us a chance that has never been given to any other country? You see, so talking about the harsh reality of this particular case, let's just be honest. Vietnam has a track record. We've got diplomatic interventions that have failed before, and they have executed individuals from various parts of the nation despite pleas from their respective governments. And if history is anything to go by, I think Nduta's fate may have already been sealed the moment she was caught. And so, we ask, was she a victim of deception, or did she knowingly take the risk, hoping to secure his future at some point in life and live the life that she wanted, and hoping to outsmart the system at the end of the day? Because we also know that some people actually find themselves in various criminal activities, not just because they are doing it out of passion, but because they are desperate to make it out of the matrix. They had reached a point of almost giving up, and so that was the only way, or rather the only last chance, or rather the last opportunity they could ever venture into to ensure that they actually make both ends meet in life. And more importantly, is Kenya doing enough to protect its citizens from falling into such traps? Because if you find somebody like Margaret Nduta, involving herself into a drug trafficking activity, yet she's a lady from the village. She knew little about drugs. Maybe she has never consumed drugs, or maybe she never knew about such kind of activities that exist in the country. It means that life must have pushed her to a point that she actually tried to get into to certain levels that she could have ever imagined in life. And one thing I like to say is that one wrong choice, one desperate decision, and one wrong move can really bring your life to an end. And now, an entire nation watches, hoping for a miracle. And as you speak, Nduta's life hangs in the balance. So the question you're supposed to ask yourself is, will Vietnam extend the execution, or is this the last chapter of a tragic tale? So I will keep you updated following this story as the day unfolds. And let's hope for the best. Let's hope that Nduta is actually going to evade, or rather cheat death for the first and the last time in his drug trafficking career. And for now, I'll simply say that we will have to wait. We'll have to stay patient and see what happens today at 7 p.m. in Kenya. And if it happens, it happens. If it does not, may she come back home and look for something better to do, and may people stand and support her after listening to the kind of story that she's going to narrate. If at all she's going to escape the Grim Reaper today. So until next time, stay informed, stay aware, and be careful of the choices that you make. Because I've always preached to you, I've always told you time and again, choices have consequences. If you make the right choices, you might get a favorable result. If you make the wrong choice or make the wrong decisions, death is the price that you'll have to pay. Stay tuned for more updates.